How can we start to take back our democracy? That's the question many of us keep asking ourselves. When we look around and we see rising prices across everything, rent going through the roof, groceries going through the roof, gas going through the roof, our cars getting older and not being able to replace them, and then the front runners in every single election seem to be worse and worse and worse. Meanwhile, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and everything just continues to seem bleak. We have to focus more on going to work and working extra hours so that we can pay our bills and keep ourselves above water. Meanwhile, the wealthy and the powerful continue to increase their power and their wealth. In fact, the top earners, or the top, shall we say, wealthy billionaires in the country, combined wealth, have $44 trillion. $44 trillion is damn near double the GDP of the United States back in 2018. So only a couple thousand people combined have doubled the GDP of what our country had in 2018. What's more, I believe 20 years ago, the total global debt was $44 trillion, which means the billionaires in America today could have bought and sold the entire earth one time 20 years ago. That's obscene. That is the state of affairs that we face. And unfortunately, it seems like it's only going to get worse. Technology continues to be more invasive. Our ability to glean information becomes more and more difficult with deepfakes and AI being prolific and spreading false information. What's more, we also have cultism abounding in our country's politics. It's less so a war of policy and more one of ideology, supporting this person over this person because they represent this and they represent that. It's not about, well, I think this person's economic policy is better. I think they're a little weak on jobs, and their foreign policy is a little shaky. No, it's blue man or red man, and that's it. That is where we are in today's political climate. It is not discourse. It is not discussion. It is not even reason. We're still, the overwhelming majority of legislation is unpopular by citizens like you and me who are voting, who are engaging in civics, and yet pass anyway, meaning less than 1% of all legislation that is passed at the federal, state, or local level has anything to do with public opinion. So why would I just spell this bleak, dystopian picture of helplessness when this video is how do we fight back? How do we get involved? The answer is simple. It may actually surprise you how simple it is. I'm not going to sit here and say just go ahead and register and vote. That is not necessarily the catch-all. If your only choice between voting is blue guy or red guy, is that really helpful? And to a greater or lesser degree, it isn't. And I won't argue otherwise, despite wanting to represent you one day as your president. I am not telling you not to vote. I'm not telling you that the vote is worthless. I'm saying without doing other things and enabling other things to happen, your vote is being torn between the lesser of two evils. And at this point, the evil is pretty freaking evil. So what can we do about it? The first thing we can do is we can start contacting our elected officials. And I mean at the local all the way up to the federal level. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, if I can't vote and I already don't like this person, why on earth would I reach out to them? Simple. How often do you check your Facebook Messenger or your Twitter messages or your Instagram, whatever it's called? Your emails, your text messages. How often do you check those? More than likely, quite often. But you also hate getting spammed. You despise it. If you're like me, you hate getting spam messages, emails, what have you. Well, these elected officials are no different, except they have no choice. They can't block you. You're a citizen. You have the right and duty and, dare I say it, obligation to correspond with them. However, they make it quite difficult, don't they? It's not very easy to find out who your elected official even is it? Well, lucky for you, if you go into the description, there's a link. You hit enter. And the list that will generate from the link down below in the description will be a list of every single elected official that is related to your address. And the link below that is a template on how to structure your message to your elected official if You want to be constructive. In this video, I will walk you through the process and how to get there.